Sports with Chris Demirdjian.
Hey, good Saturday evening to you. Busy day of football all over Northeast Louisiana, but we start off with some breaking news out of West Monroe. KTV has learned that the LHSA has ruled against the Rebels and was described as player tampering. Head coach Jerry Arledge will be suspended 4 games starting next week, and the school will be fined $5,000 and placed under a 1-year administration probation. Now, Principal Shelby Ainsworth spoke to KTV. He says he planned to accept the penalties, but planned to appeal the player's eligibility at another institution. We got a reaction from Coach Arledge this evening.
Now's not the time to talk about it. Okay. Let's celebrate this victory right now. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sports with Chris Demirdjian.
Sunday evening, so you had plenty of questions surrounding the quarterback position, and Jamar Smith, the sophomore, filling some big shoes after the departure of Ryan Higgins, and that's not even mentioning the losses of Trent Taylor and Carlos Henderson and the 3,300 yards between the two. Wow. The 2017 Bulldogs kicking off with that sexy press box behind them. Look at that. Didn't take long for the offense to show out. Receiver Teddy Veal grabbing the punt return in the second quarter. He would avoid a diving demon off the left hash at the 30. Takes his 66 yards for the score. These guys up 7 early and in business. Just before halftime, senior Jared Kraft scored one of his 3 touchdowns here from the 2. Had another one from the 2 in the 4th. Also caught a 17-yarder from Smith late in this one. But it was in the 3rd quarter. Something special is Jaquise Dancy, who was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma nearly a year ago, got the TD from 4 yards out, giving the Dogs a 31-24 advantage. Something that put a smile on the faces of anyone and everyone inside the Joe. The G-men trying to avoid starting off 2-0, battling Northwestern State. Tigers up 10 in the second with the Demons on the attack at the 14. Quarterback J.D. Allman throws a spiral over Arquesian Chapman, who barely stays in, putting the visitors on the board 10-7. 3 minutes later, Grambling's Devontae Kincaid, you'll see him stay in the pocket. He just simply throws us all the way to the end zone. That's where a nice diving grab by Darrell Clark takes place. 24-yard chunk, 234 for the entire inning for Kincaid. Black and gold go up 10. Just before halftime, the Tigers with the ball. However, this time, Kincaid's forked. Get it by several Demons. Regardless, Grambling hangs on to defeat Northwestern State 23-10. Former Richwood star Martez Carter leading rusher with 145 yards. In the monsoon-like conditions in Memphis, the Warhawks were able to limit Tigers quarterback Riley Ferguson's pass attack, but they couldn't stop the running game. 160 yards leading to 3 touchdowns in the first half alone, and it didn't get much better in the second.
I've always thought if games are competitive and you're in there, the most important part of the game is that first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the third quarter. We'd already given up 3 turnovers, 20-7, in 5 minutes turned to 30-7.
Despite Caleb Evans starting for the first 2 series of last Thursday's battle, he, along with Garrett Smith, were consistent and each had a score by night's end. But if you're wondering who's getting the nod this weekend,
I haven't decided. We haven't decided. I didn't even have the conversation about who's going to, the quarterback and all that. I mean, we didn't even got to that point. You want to know quicker. We need to know by Saturday.
And now perhaps a monkey wrench thrown in all the game planning for Coach V and his staff, preparing for Seminoles backup quarterback James Blackman, who's coming in for DeAndre Francois, who suffered a season-ending patellar tendon injury in last Saturday's contest with Alabama.
We know that he's 6'5" and whatever, and we know that he's going to be able to throw football. So we expect them to do what they do. The skill sets are pretty similar. That was my only concern.
The Noles defense features plenty of depth and returning experience from 2016, where they only allowed 96 yards in the air a week.
They can really play. You know, they run so well at every position, and they're athletic. They tackle well. They tackle in space well.
Chris Demirdjian, NBC 10 Sports. All right, thanks, Gino. They say things can only go up, and that's exactly what happened to Waspin's win totals ever since Dean Smith got here in 2013. From going 5-7 back then to 8-4 last season, and even a share for the District 3 2A title. And guess what? There's room for more.
I think the kids have a culture of winning now. I think the JV team, people think it's not important, but I mean that's what we built this program on from the youth. When I started mentioning district championships and home playoff games that hadn't happened in 10 years here, the kids' eyes they were eager to learn how to do it.
The Wildcats scored an average of 32 points per contest and surrendered 14 in 2016. However, the team loses 7 on defense and 6 on offense. Breaking in new talent with the expectations to keep delivering W's can be tough.
I was once in the position that they was in, and I kind of showed them some of the stuff that I learned from the people that was teaching me as I was freshman or young. I think we can teach the other kids that's coming up to be better as those guys.
That's the part I always say. If you have any other ideas, please come by Walton High School and help me coach them up. But as long as you're coaching and teaching the system, the kids should see the culture and what's going on. They'll buy into it and make plays for you.
One of those fresh faces, Nick Traylor, the starting quarterback, who was a purple and gold's kicker a year ago.
I just got to be calm and play my game, and make sure I know God on my side. We got good coaches to guide us through things so we can know what to do in a game time situation, and we'll be prepared for it.
Chris Demirdjian, NBC 10.